Hey everyone, welcome to Geek Speak, and today's March 1. We're gonna talk about the opening, or Logan just opened today in cinemas with an R16 rating for the Philippines. And joining me now is not Mr. Jason Inocencio. For his revenge, we have Mr. John Lansang. Hey John, what's up?
Hey, Jiggy, what's up?
So you told me you saw Logan earlier today at the 30th at 12
Yep.
noon. I caught it at 12:30. So how'd you find it?
I really liked it. I mean, it's because personally, I've been a big critic of the X-Men movies. I don't like a lot of the liberties they've taken, with the exception of maybe First Class. So, I mean, this was the right direction for them to go. Like, really have an R-rated Wolverine movie to. It's really the only way to accurately show his character.
I completely agree with you. I love non-spoilery review, but at the beginning, I really liked the part where he just went berserker barrage on these thugs.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, like, I a lot of the fight scenes too. Like, they're more. They felt a lot more visceral. There's, yeah. Well, not to spoil anything, but there's this pet peeve I have from the X-Men movies. Like this move he does. He does it too in this one. The one where like he wire jumps through the air with his claws spread and then his legs spread too.
Oh, you don't like that?
It's super awkward for me, but I hate that he did it for here too. But besides that, like they really improved on the fighting here. Like there's this sort of distinction between both him and the other major character.
Yeah.
Like, do we go into that? I think most people would know.
Yeah,
who
if
that
you
is,
saw the
anyway.
trailer, well, people listening should be geeks, and X-23 makes her debut in the Fox Marvel Cinematic Universe, and
Yeah, like that was amazing. She was so amazing.
what's that, Roberta. What are the names of the people?
Yeah, I haven't managed to Google the cast, but yeah, like the little girl was amazing. Like she just displayed this level of athleticism, and she still has that berserker rage that that sets the Wolverines quote unquote apart. But she had her own fighting style. Like she was just all over, jumping up and down, and like
No,
big bad guys.
I
all
thought
over.
that Laura was super awesome in this movie.
I'd say
And
she's actually the best part of the movie.
oh yeah, I think I was talking to my best friend after we watched it together, and I was telling him that the one who carried the movie was X-23.
Mm-hmm.
No, because
I mean, also credit to Patrick Stewart and Hugh Jackman. Like they accurately portrayed like the aging
Professor X and Wolverine,
Professor X and Wolverine that comic book fans may be more familiar with as in like the more post-apocalyptic timeline, since it does take place in the future. Slightly in the future, the near future.
We'll go to the spoilery ones. We'll warn people before we take on the spoilers. But what were the other things that you liked about the movie?
Well, I'm a longtime comic book fan, and I haven't read it in a bit, but like I identified other very good lead before they even named them because of certain characteristics. And Donald Pierce, of course, like he's the only prominent like X-Men cyborg villain. Even if the characterization is different from how he normally is in the comics, I just really got a kick out of that.
Okay, sorry.
Knowing who
I'm
these
not the
characters
big
are.
I'm not the big X-Men reader. The Marvel zombies know that, and what was the name of the main antagonist, the guy with the metal arm?
Donald Pierce. He's actually he's originally in the comics, he's a member of the Hellfire Club, the original Hellfire Club, that attempts to recruit Jean Grey, along with Sebastian Shaw and Emma Frost when she was the White Queen.
So
he was, he was dressed more like, if you're familiar with how the Hellfire Club is in the comics, like they're in sort of colonial-ish
costumes,
dress.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's sort of how he is. But besides that, like, seeing the cyborg, quote unquote, in the trailer, like, I just knew this was Donald Pierce, and it was really gratifying to be right about that.
And then here in the movie, they were called what? The Reavers?
The Reavers, yeah. I'm not 100% sure, but basically they were like a cyborg group of X-Men bad guys, generic bad guys, like the Friends of Humanity and those types.
Okay. Other things that I liked about the movie, they gave him the Old Man Logan costume that we know from the current Marvel comics.
Oh
yeah. And well, I was hoping he'd get the full-on white hair, but salt and pepper works. It's fine. But they still gave him the brown jacket and Old Man Logan, which was pretty cool. But if I were to nitpick, like, my first question was, how did Professor X or Charles get hair again? Did you notice that he had the side hair?
Yeah, I'm just gonna assume that, like, I don't know, maybe it's the new timeline, like he grows hair or whatever because of
post
reasons.
Days of Future Past.
Yeah.
And this is the part I don't like about the X-Men movies. Like, you're really concerned about the timeline.
It's a really, really messy timeline.
I saw the other day was it yesterday in Comic Book Resources, which I don't follow anymore, but on their Twitter they have the correct order of the X-Men movies.
Yeah, I mean, like, it's more or less chronological, with the exception of, like, X 1, 2, and 3 essentially no longer existing. But beyond that, it's still sort of messy because they have doubles like Cyclops and Emma Frost appearing in both Wolverine Origins and
the new X-Men,
First Class,
yeah,
and Age of Apocalypse, respectively.
Yeah, which kind of sucks, and I'm sad that they don't have this one Marvel guy managing the X universe for Fox.
Yeah, that's it. It really sucks. I mean, most comic book fans are familiar with how Marvel is treating the X-Men right now in the comics.
Yeah, and this is because of Fox. But the hope that we have is with Legion. This is the first time that Marvel and Fox are working together, so there's still hope, I guess. Yeah.
Like, maybe that's the first olive branch, like Sony allowing Marvel to use Spider-Man again.
Correct. Oh wait, look, sorry. In my notifications, Jason just said, "Hey, if you want a podcast, let's go on a podcast." Well, sorry, I'm talking to Mr. Lansang already, and we saw Logan.
A little late this time.
And sorry, before we go to the spoilery ones, Rotten Tomatoes, I think it was last week, had a 97% rating for Logan. Do you agree with the 97% rating?
I wouldn't give it as high as 97. I mean, there were some lulls for me that, like, they could have done without. But, I mean, it is a good film. Like, some people say that they say The Dark Knight Rises, or The Dark Knight were in some way were barely superhero movies, like, and that made them better. Well, at least for The Dark Knight. I don't like The Dark Knight Rises, but
and this was it, right? I agree that Logan was like not a typical superhero movie. It's just
Yeah,
it's sort of a post-apocalyptic Western movie with Wolverine and Professor X and X-23 being the characters.
yeah, it's sort of the conclusion to Logan's story, and like, well, Hugh Jackman said that this is going to be the last time that he'll portray Logan, but there are some teasers out there that might be fake, probably are fake, because, well, did you wait for a stinger after the...
No, I did not. I did not. So there are no end credit scene.
Yeah,
But
I can confirm that, at least here in the Philippines, there are no mid or post-credit sequences.
the one at the end. I saw it. I think it was Earl who posted it. I
Yeah,
think it's fake.
it has to be fake, because we would have heard something by now.
And I wouldn't
Like,
put the in front of it. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Like I was just gonna say Wolverine, not the Wolverine.
Although they did refer to him as the Wolverine
In the X-Men movies.
Yeah,
Well, you're
a few times.
yeah. Anyway, let's go with the spoil. Okay, if you don't wanna hear spoilers on Logan, now would be the time to hit pause and leave this YouTube page, because John and I are gonna talk about the movie with some spoilers. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so bye guys. If you don't wanna listen to it, so here goes. So John,
See you.
question. I wasn't
Mm.
paying attention to the radio when after the casino when they left the hotel in the casino. Was it implied that the X-Men died because of Professor X?
Yeah, basically they mentioned that Professor X like basically lost control of his powers, and that's what wiped out the most mutants, or those that were with the X-Men at least at the time.
Because they were saying that most of the mutants were dead already, right? So
Yeah.
I'm assuming that he probably was using Cerebro, and the seizure happened and kind of killed most of the mutants.
I don't remember if they mentioned Cerebro itself. It's just that they did say that the accident did happen in Westchester,
Yeah.
and that
Did you
well,
notice
it's kind of implied that like whatever happened to Professor X when he doesn't take his medicine, that like time stopping, brain destroying thing is probably what happened to most of the X-Men.
Okay. Did you notice his quarters in Texas was kind of like Cerebro. There were holes on the ceiling. They looked like stars in the sky, and it was kind of like the Cerebro where you'd see the white silhouettes of the mutants all over the world.
Yeah, there were similarities, and I guess like there was a bit of dialogue that I don't completely recall, but they did mention like Caliban during that first scene of Professor X, like did say that that sort of dampens his power a little bit,
Okay.
even if like it still goes wild.
All right.
Even if he doesn't get his meds.
Do you think that Professor X is still alive somehow, but transferred his
No,
consciousness?
he's definitely dead. Like, I mean, at least for this continuity. Like,
What was his last words? Was it it was sunshine something? I wasn't paying close attention to it.
I didn't hear it too well.
Yeah. And also,
But I think it was something about like Logan not giving up,
okay.
which is sort of because that is one of the major themes in this movie, is that basically Logan wanted to get Professor X to the middle of the ocean where there wouldn't be any
People.
major casualties if that thing happened again.
Okay, now it makes sense. What about?
And after that, it sort of he sort of just wanted to end his own life already.
What about?
the adamantium bullet.
What about Logan? Do you think he's still alive?
It would be kind of a cop out to do that, like because of, well, besides Hugh Jackman's announcement that he's
Calling it a day.
Yeah, and that he's done. It's already ending at a high note like Wolverine Origins was terrible. The Wolverine was terrible. This is the best way to end it, like with this memorable Wolverine movie that he's portrayed as he should be, and to just to have him alive again would like crap on that legacy.
Okay. The Wolverine for me wasn't that bad. X-Men Origins was terrible. The Wolverine was relatively okay, but Logan, I'm really not a fan of the westerns. It's a good movie, it's a good film, but I wouldn't give it a 97%. It would be in the mid 80s or low 80s. Mid 80s at
I'd give
best.
it maybe 80, 85.
Yeah, it would be there. Would be there. I think it's still better than X-Men Apocalypse. That's my
definitely.
take. Yeah. But
X-Men
Deadpool...
Apocalypse was like they wanted to do something grand, but they were too afraid to take any risks. And, they basically banked on, what's his face? Poe Dameron.
Oscar Isaac.
Is, hype from Oscar Isaac being famous from Star Wars again. And so they didn't want to cover him up in makeup, and they ended up with a crappy-looking Apocalypse.
And then Jennifer Lawrence without the blue makeup also.
Yeah, Jennifer Lawrence essentially phoned that in, so...
Okay. Wait, I also want to talk about Mr. Soul Glow, Eric LaSalle. At the start of the movie, he said, "Hey, Eric LaSalle is here. Soul Glow." And I agree with you that there were some pacing problems. There were very lull moments, and part of the lull moments was the part where they had to rescue some horses and...
Yeah, that was the part exactly where I was like, okay.
Because a lot of things happen in the movie, like so many scenes, from cut to cut to cut. And I look at my watch, and I watched 12:30, and then 1:30. It's 1 hour pa lang nakakalampas, and wow, so many things have happened already.
Yeah, and I honestly felt that move was like them staying with the family, especially Professor X insisting on it, was like one of the few dumb moments in the movie. It's like they're being chased by these people who, for all intents and purposes, at that point, still have Caliban, and they decide to stay with this completely innocent family.
And then fixing the pipes, completely useless.
Yeah, there was no point to that except for eat time and have Eric LaSalle there.
Yeah. What about the other mutants from the Alkali Transgen? What's it? Transigen program.
Transigen, yeah.
Were there any...
The ones whose names at least I recognized were Richter and... who's this? Roberto, I think.
Roberto.
Yeah.
My favorite was the fat little African American kid. Cute niya. He was running and running, and then he ended up electrocuting some of the Reavers.
I actually like the phrasing, at least, in that they referred to those kids, or indirectly referred to those kids as "quote unquote" new mutants.
I didn't hear that.
Huh?
I didn't hear that part.
No, because there are in the beginning several times they insist that there haven't been any new mutant sightings since I think 25 years. Then Logan several times says there are no new mutants, and it just so happens that there are quote unquote new mutants. I'm not sure if the Bobby that was mentioned is Robert Dacascos, who is Sunspot, one of the New Mutants, and Richter at least is is a less common name. But I'm fairly sure they're probably, if we Google them, those kids have some equivalent somewhere in the X-Men continuity.
Okay. Cool, cool, cool. I also wanted to point out they like using the word force, like dark forces are coming, Logan, blah blah blah. And I wonder if this is like a nod to X Force coming in.
Uh,
They're leading to it anyway.
well, it could be, but like, I mean, honestly, Deadpool's its own animal right now. Like, I, I mean, like, I don't know if Hugh Jackman finally agreed to the. I hear that Ryan Reynolds is like constantly pestering him to make a cameo, but I don't know if that's pushing through.
Well, his face from a clipping from a magazine was shown in Deadpool. Maybe that's about it.
Maybe.
Yeah. Anyway, I guess that's pretty much it for a quick review, John. Thanks a lot for joining this super quick Logan review for Geek Speak. I
Oh,
really
sure.
appreciate it.
No problem, Jiggy.
And let's wait for Mr. Inocencio's review as well. So, thanks a lot, guys. We'll catch you
All right.
again. Bye.